Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. We're going to talk about the fear of a new relationship and what to do about it. So, when we're getting into a new relationship or considering it, what we need to do is stay focused within your own body, noticing your feelings rather than just being tuned into the other person's feelings. We need to stay conscious, not to take responsibility for the complete other person's feelings of being worthy or security. If it's meant to be, it'll feel secure. And to not make the other person responsible for our own feelings of being worthy or of a sense of security. So we have to be secure and understand our own self-worth, and that's when we mesh with people. We need to make a solid decision before getting together with the other person, that we're willing to lose the other person rather than losing ourselves. If you've been in a narcissistic relationship, we lose ourselves because we don't feel comfortable. We're starting to have them, we're reaching out to them to get our sense of security. We're not secure in a narcissistic relationship. We need to make a conscious decision to not make the other person's wants, needs, and feelings more important than our own. There is room to compromise, but when it's unhealthy and we're living somebody else's life or living for someone else, we're not living for ourselves. And that's when it starts turning toxic. So we need to stay clear of our own truth, to not let the other person talk us into or out of what feels good and right for you. So if you have certain dreams that you're looking to achieve and they're important to you, that's your sense of identity or something that's important to you, that you need to feel full within yourself. And we have to be willing to take full 100% responsibility for behaving in such a way that makes us feel worthy, safe, and powerful. It's up to us to create our own future. And we need to be willing to be who we really are rather than trying to impress somebody, to make a conscious decision that being in integrity within ourselves is who we really are. And that is more important than getting the other person's approval. And that's where relationships start turning toxic. We start becoming needy, and we need to fill the voids within ourselves. And it's good to express things when we're uncomfortable. But as far as when we're in our right self, that's when we're loved for who we are. Otherwise, it doesn't feel right because we're being loved for who we aren't. We're not a slave to another person. We're who we are, and we can't lose sight of that. So don't disregard the big or small things that we find difficult. If they're intolerable or unacceptable, we have to realize that. So if something is unacceptable or even intolerable to us early on in the relationship, the chances are that it's not going to get better. And it's up to us not to convince ourselves that it's otherwise, because there are so many good things about this person. We can overlook the problems or get the other person to change. That's not going to work. We can't change another person. We can only change ourselves. And when we have fears of rejection, they can emerge early on in the relationship. Some people are terrified of doing something wrong and being rejected because they make the other person responsible for their feelings of worth and lovability. So within this fear of rejection, that can lead a person to give him or herself up to the other person, thereby touching off the fears of engulfment and loving oneself and being controlled or consumed by the other person. And that's why narcissists love to get into relationships super quick. They haven't worked on themselves and they're in a state of need, and it's always going to turn toxic. So if you've been in that type of relationship, that you have to be whole within yourself and you have to understand yourself. So fears of loss of self or loss of others often surface quickly, and people find themselves either giving in or pulling away in their efforts to protect themselves from their fears. A lot of times you manifest what you fear. So when you are content in yourself, you're not fearing anything and you're not doing that self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you fear something, that's usually what manifests. It manifests in the ways that you speak, and the vibrations. So if you allow fear to guide you, you will likely either pull away or end up in an unsatisfying relationship. The most important thing to remember as you move into exploring a new relationship is let love be your guide, not your fear. And this means that you need to be open to learning about what is most loving to you and what is your highest good, rather than trying to have control over not being rejected or controlled by the other person. So keep asking for your inner wisdom. What is the loving action toward ourselves right now? What is our highest good right now? And if you keep asking this vital question, you will find your way through exploring a new relationship without losing yourself and without getting hurt by the other person. A lot of people, hurt people. And that's where things start turning into the destruction of the relationship. So good relationships, if they're meant to be, they will survive. Toxic relationships will start feeling so off that you're going to go into a shutdown mode, that you're either going to start needing too much or you're going to start to withdraw. And listen to your body. Your body is in tune to what you need. By staying true to yourself, that's when you're going to be happy. And when you're happy, the relationship falls into place. So both parties should be happy. And I hope that was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.